talking about paying college athletes. I am enrolled in KIN 3305 and my name is Carla Sotes. So, should college athletes be getting paid? My thoughts on this are no. And I myself am an athlete. I've been playing sports since the age of 5. I played college soccer 1 year and then club soccer the rest. So, coming from myself as a college athlete who experienced this, I do not think that college athletes should be getting paid. And my thought on this is because a lot of money and attention is already going to college athletes as it is. And sometimes, people who are in need of financial aid and students who are in need of that to go to school do not get that just because so much money is already going over to athletes. So if college athletes were to get paid, then even more money would be going to them. And if you think about it, a lot of these athletes who do go pro will be getting millions and millions of more money even after they finish playing. So my first reason as to why they should not be getting paid is that it eliminates the line between amateur and professional sports. So according to the NCAA, the reason why student athletes are not currently paid is that it would eliminate the separation between amateurism and professionalism in sports. If that line is eliminated, then the links between an education at a college and sports played at a college would weaken. The outcome of this is that it causes athletes who don't turn pro to suffer from it because they'd have fewer opportunities available to them. The second reason is that it would prioritize athleticism over academics. So even though students would still be required to meet academic standards to qualify for academic programs, paying athletes for sports participation would likely shift personal priorities. They would be required to maintain their position on the team to benefit from the income, like they are required to do so now to maintain a scholarship. So this would mean that, in the back of an athlete's mind is, okay, I'm getting that income in from playing the sport. And in order for me to maintain this income, I need to maintain the sport's, ability, the athleticism and all of that. So they're going to lose their focus on the academic side and focus more on bettering themselves on the athletic side rather than academic. So athletes would choose programs where they would be paid the most rather than choosing programs where they could learn the most as well. The next reason is that it would become a burden on taxpayers. So public institutions would need to ask taxpayers for monetary support. Private institutions would also likely increase tuition rates to meet the financial obligations involved. The outcome of this would be that it would cause students to stop enrolling for academic purposes, and it would also create lower skill workers over time throughout the country. The next reason is that it would burden smaller schools. So, would all students receive the same amount of pay no matter which school they choose to attend? If so, then there would be a burden placed on smaller schools that compete at higher levels. If pay levels are allowed to be tiered based on where college competes, then is it fair for one athlete to be paid more than another because they were accepted into a superior program? Think about that. So there are plenty of structural questions we would need to be resolved before paying college athletes became the norm. The next reason is that it could also encourage schools to cut other programs. So, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the attention already does go to athletes. So, if paying athletes, it would even more attention would go to them to the point where some schools may need to even cut programs from the university. So, many schools do use the funds from their athletic programs to fund other programs and activities. If those funds are ordered to be used as a salary for college athletes, then other programs and services might suffer from it. The outcome of this is it would degrade the quality of life available on campus. So think about that. To all my college students out there, how would you guys feel, if the athletes at your school were getting paid and the cost of that would be to cut down the program that you might be in and that you might really enjoy, and that's where you have met all your friends, and that's what really makes you look forward to going to school. So just that's something to think about. So depending on what programs were cut, it could even impact the safety of students over a long time period. Another con is that it could create issues of paycheck equality. So if athletics is treated like a work-study program, there could be issues of equality in pay that would need to be evaluated. Some students in other programs would likely not earn the same amount as an athlete for their work-study program. So this could cause a lot of conflict between the two just because of the equality, and they may not find it fair, which it isn't. So when everything comes down to dollars and cents, there could be more discrimination put into college campuses by paying college athletes than the benefits such an activity would provide. Another reason is it would create opportunities to unionize. Student athletes who are receiving a salary would be classified as employees. That would give student athletes the right to unionize in many states. The outcome of this, it would create conflicts between schools and athletes in a manner that is similar to conflicts seen between owners and professional athletes. Some participants would still be minors, which means their parents would need to be involved in contract negotiations. Also, new levels of administrative complication could be incorporated into the educational system, which would further increase costs. Alright, so that is it. Those are the reasons as to why I think athletes should not be getting paid. Paying student athletes creates a number of variables which offer plenty pros and cons to think about. Most people would agree that athletes should be compensated when profits are generated by their likeness and activities. Most would also agree, like myself, that university programs should emphasize academics over athletics. Finding a balance using key points like this is the only way to progress on this issue will be attained. Alrighty, guys, and that is it on my opinion as to why I think that college athletes should not be getting paid.